In Max, if you want to group objects, you select the objects that you want and press Ctrl G, and then you can name your group. They will be added to a group right here in the outliner. You can see that it belongs to an empty called cubes, and if I click on them, they will always be selected as the group themselves. I cannot modify this in any way unless I go up here to edit group and I ungroup it, or I can open it and then I can select the objects inside the group and actually move them and edit them, and after I'm finished I can just close the group, and now I can select it as a group again without being able to modify it. Of course, the group also has its own coordinates, so now, for example, if I go down here and right click to move to 0, we can see that the coordinates of the group, I mean the pivot point of the group, is right here, and I also set it to local so I can see the pivot point. In Maya, if you want to group, it's the same. You just select any two objects and press Ctrl G. Now the items are grouped successfully, as Maya just said. And if I go here to the outliner and I'll just press Shift click, then we can see that all of these objects are in the same group, and they also have their own groups, because Maya always creates a group for any detached object that or element that you separate from an object. So because I detached this face before, it was named something, but now it's named group and it has two poly surfaces. And Maya likes to make a mess out of all of this, and if you want to get rid of these, of course, you always have to delete history, and then it cleans it up, it cleans itself up a bit, and then you can move and ungroup any item if you middle click, drag, and let go here in the outliner. Now I've ungrouped these items and I can select and delete the group. Sometimes if you have a material, it will remove the material from the object when you do this, and the object will turn green. Now, if I don't want to use this method, I can also use the official one while going up here to edit and just say ungroup. Of course, any group has its own pivot point. So now, if I want to move this cube and then I select the group, I'm moving the cube from that point with the group's pivot point, and now the group's pivot point is moved over here. And if I want to reset, I just write the values into my attribute editor on my channel box here, and it will move. They will all move together, yet they all have their coordinates separately, respective to the group. Now in Blender, there used to be a thing called groups, but now they call them collections, and they don't work like groups as they do in Maya and Max anymore, because of some animation features. So normally what Maya and Max does is actually create an empty and parents the objects to that empty. And we can do that in Blender as well, and it would work exactly like a group. But in Blender, if you just want to create a group in the outliner or for yourself as for organization, that's how basically collections work. So if you select two objects and press M, this window will appear and you click new collection and you say cubes, for example, and okay, these are my cubes collection. Yet I cannot select them as a group. I can right click and select objects from within this collection and move them together, but there is no common pivot point assigned to this group. So for it to work the same way, I created this empty, for example, and now I select these cubes and select the empty last, and I say Control P, set parent to object, and now I parented my cubes to this empty and I move it. This is what actually happens in Max, but the software makes it call that empty a group for itself, but the functioning is the same. So let's say Blender is just honest about it. I won't get into the technical side of it as much because this is not my video's purpose. So just accept the fact that if you really want to group things in Blender as you do in Max or in Maya, just create an empty for it and parent objects to it. Or just use parenting and that's all. Which is a topic I will get later into anyway. To clear a parent, you press Alt P and click Clear Parent. For organization purposes, you can create as many collections you want. You just go here to the outliner and keep pressing C, and it just keeps creating collections. The same way as you do in Maya, you select objects and you just drag them into a different collection. You double click and rename the collection and so on. So collections are for organization as far as what we are interested in now for modeling.